Okay, so imagine you go to your favorite breakfast place. You order a pancake, and once you finish it, two more pancakes are placed in front of you. You finish those, and now there's four pancakes, then eight, then 16, on and on and on and on and on. But no matter how much you eat, you never get full, and somehow the pancakes taste better every single time. And while you eat the pancakes, you remember the pancakes your dad made for you before he was drafted into the breakfast war. And you sob, remembering the trillions who died during the Egg Revolution. These moments haunt you, and you still wake up at night in a cold sweat, horrified that you'll be found by the omelets. And, what were we talking about? Oh, right. Veigar. Veigar is a simple champion, but that's part of his charm. He doesn't have a million dashes like Akali, he doesn't have 10 abilities like Hui, and he isn't a sexy girl like Lux. He's just a tiny evil sorcerer that fulfills the base instinct all League players have. He makes big numbers. Veigar's passive is called Phenomenal Evil Power. Whenever Veigar hits a champion with an ability, he gains a stack of his passive, instead gaining 5 stacks whenever he scores a takedown. Every stat gives Veigar 1 ability powder. You can see how this gets kind of stupid. Veigar's Q is called Baleful Strike, which I literally just learned while writing this script. I just call it Q. When cast, Veigar throws out a small sphere that deals damage to the first 2 enemies hit, and if this ability kills a unit, Veigar gains a stack of his passive. Veigar's W is called Dark Matter, which calls down a small meteor at the target location. Also, the cooldown of this ability is actually shortened by every, I think it's 50 stacks that Veigar has in his passive. Veigar's E is called Event Horizon. When cast, Veigar designates an area, and after 0.5 seconds, a cage rises from the ground. If a unit collides with the cage walls, they are stunned for 3 seconds and also knocked down. Basically, that means the champions can't like dash or leap over the walls, or if Tristana tries to do her leap, it'll bring her right down to the ground. Finally, Veigar's R is called Primordial Burst. Veigar throws out a massive energy that deals damage to a single target, and this damage can be increased by up to 100% based on the missing health of the target. Basically, it's a massive execute ult that can do insane amounts of damage. As you can see, like I said, super simple. He has a quick projectile, a slow, like kind of mini AoE thing, a decently large and effective stun, though it has, you know, some setup time basically, and then a magic nuke. The point of Veigar isn't to outplay your opponents or show off your insane microspacing. The point of Veigar is to make enemies disappear. I mean, he is a magician after all. Oh!
What?
If she hadn't ulted away from that Q, she'd be dead. Oh, she is dead. Funnily enough, Veigar doesn't really struggle too much with champions that have high mobility, although saying that, I did have one game where I got absolutely wrecked by a Yone, so, you know, maybe ban him. His CC is so large that just throwing it down near you prevents almost any all-ins, and if you catch them, you'll probably blow them up with your combo. Your main issue is champions that can massively outrange you. Zoe, Vel'Koz, I was banning Ziggs a lot because I got wrecked by Ziggs in one game. Just champions like this in general can cause major problems for Veigar. There is another assassin though that Veigar really struggles with, and that's Fizz. Due to Fizz having pretty much complete intangibility on his E, he can slip right through your cage and then kill you before you can even blink. I also banned Caston a lot just because, you know, well, Caston's not played a whole ton. What that champion does invalidates everything Veigar does, so yeah, I just was banning him a little bit because he was annoying me. For your non-flash summoner spell, you'll want to bring Teleport. Veigar needs to get ahead early, so being able to get back to lane fast is very important for his early game, and for joining late game teamfights. Besides, it's really not like you need Ignite to chip away at enemies for kills. Finally, for your runes, you'll grab First Strike. We haven't talked about this much in this series, but First Strike gives you extra gold and bonus damage on targets if you hit them before they hit you. Alongside this, bring Free As Boots, Biscuit Delivery, and Cosmic Insight, and then secondarily you'll run Sorcery with Mana Flow Band and Transcendence. Then you'll bring Cooldown, Adaptive Damage, and Health. Just like with the Briar video, we have a few new items that we'll be building that you may need some explanation for. First off, you'll start with Doran's Ring as usual, and then begin building towards Luden's Companion. This item builds up charges every few seconds, and when you deal damage with an ability, the charges are consumed to apply extra damage both to the target and like to some enemies that are nearby. Afterwards, you'll get Stork Shoes and then another new item called Storm Surge. If you deal 35% of a target's health bar in damage, like within a few seconds, you'll apply a mark to the target which will be consumed after a couple seconds, striking them with lightning. If the target dies before the bolt actually goes off, it'll strike immediately and hit a larger area, and you'll be given bonus gold. Third, you'll grab Rabadons, because with Veigar's passive, Rabadons gives you stupid damage, like just stupid damage. Normally by the time I build it in a game, it gives me about 250 AP on top of the 120 that Rabadons already gives me. So yeah, it's pretty stupid. And then fourth, you'll want to grab Zhonya's for some extra survivability. Last, you'll grab Shadow Flame or Void Staff, pretty much up to you, just, depending on which one sounds better for the game you're playing. All this stuff turns Veigar into a monstrous burst mage, making champions disappear before they can breathe. Enough with the pregame stuff though, let's get to some actual gameplay.
Oh my god, Tanner!
I do a lot of damage.
Oh my god!
Laning with Veigar is all about farming, as it is usually with, stacking champions. You'll start off with your Q and use it primarily to kill minions, since that will get you stacks of your passive. At level 2, you grab your W and use it to zone off your opposing laner while continuing to farm. W is a pretty slow projectile, so you'll rarely actually hit it, so you mostly just want to use it to tell your opponent, hey, I don't want you standing at this point, like at this moment. Then at level 3, you'll grab your E, mostly to either trade or just to protect yourself from any ganks that may be thrown your way. Your maxing order from there should then be Q, then E, then W. Since your W cooldown is decreased from your passive stacks, and you're going to be doing nuts damage with it anyway, regardless of how many points you put into it, you mostly want to focus on E second, to reduce cooldown on that. Honestly, if you're farming even with your enemy laner and you both end lane phase 0-0, that's probably really good for you, since you'll naturally have a gold advantage just due to the stats you gain from your passive. Of course, getting kills is great and can rocket you ahead of the enemy team, but don't force it. Playing safe and even is more important than being aggressive and giving the enemy jungler a highly immobile target to jump on. All I'm saying is that a flashless Veigar is like the tastiest treat a jungler can buy. Well, that is if they can actually catch you. For teamfights with Veigar, your positioning is insanely important. You can't be at the front of a fight since your CC doesn't come up immediately and you'll be blown up without doing much, but you also can't be at the very back because your abilities just don't have enough range for that. The best place for you to be is right in the middle of your team, so you can easily set up CC from a distance, but you're clumped up enough that you shouldn't be picked off by any assassins. Especially in big teamfights, you'll want to hit your abilities on multiple champions at once. Veigar is great at building up huge damage at the start of a fight and then backing off slightly to let his abilities come up. Near the end of the game, Veigar can just hide in bushes near objectives to blow up anyone who may walk in without setting up proper vision, and can easily cripple enemy teams at the start of a fight. Though, as I've mentioned, Veigar has no built-in escape tools besides his flash or a stasis item if you've bought one, so if you get pounced on and don't have anyone to peel for you, you're probably going to die very quickly. Simply put with Veigar, it's kill or be killed. Veigar is one of those champions in the league that was fun when he came out and will be fun for the rest of time. His kit is simple, straightforward, and timeless because, let's be honest, there's nothing more fun than watching an enemy champion go from full health to no health in 0.5 seconds. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. I know we were really cutting it close with this episode. It literally came out the last day of March. It was honestly just because that week off I took that caused some problems with the scheduling of things. But it's okay. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. Veigar wasn't too much of a problem to record, thankfully. He's a pretty simple champion, and I'm pretty decent with him. I ended this at Mastery 6 with him, and I have one Mastery 7 token, so I could have got to Mastery 7. But, I don't like playing mid too much, mostly because Zach doesn't play with us when I play mid, and so it's like, but yeah, overall we had a pretty good time. Wasn't too much of a problem. If you want to go watch other episodes of Market Mastery, the playlist will be linked in the description down below. You can go see. Last episode we did was on Briar. Ton of fun. Still probably my favorite jungler to play right now. Can't wait to go back and play more jungle just to play more Briar. As usual, we post videos for this series once every month on Thursdays. So any Thursday of the month this can come up, but it's only once per month, and Alan is going to be handling the next episode. And how else can I put this? But I mean, well, Alan's going to be immune. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.